Hey, welcome back everyone. So some time ago in 2018, I picked up this right here, a German sport guns manufactured MP40 in 9mm parabellum, which is a modern semi-automatic clone of the German World War II machine pistol 1940. These clones at least have a mixed reputation for not being of super great quality, but I'll leave that for another discussion. Now, as it stands, these are sold and regulated as a pistol in the United States. That is because the barrel is under 16 inches and does not have a shoulder stock, ergo, it is a pistol. However, as many of you are probably aware, the original MP40s obviously had folding stocks and ergonomically don't really function well without one. Shooting this without a stock is fairly unpleasant and is kind of pointless in my opinion. Also, if you're going for historical accuracy, you'll obviously want a folding shoulder stock. Now, luckily, the manufacturer, GSG, developed these with the idea of being able to add a shoulder stock in the future if the individual owner chooses to do so. However, as soon as you add a stock to it, it becomes a short-barreled rifle, which is, of course, regulated by the National Firearms Act. And you need to fill out a Form 1 with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, which is what I'm going to talk about today, my first SBR. Just right off the bat, YouTube will censor any content showing you how to assemble or manufacture an SBR, so I can't really show you that here. But I can quickly go over my experience, and then we'll go ahead and shoot this gun and see how it functions. So after years of putting off doing my Form 1, I decided, what the heck, let's go for it. And decided to file. I've only taken this out once or twice to the range because it is, like I mentioned earlier, pretty unpleasant to shoot without any sort of stabilizing stock. You can use your sling as like a stabilizer, but it's really not helpful and it just kind of feels awkward. So decided to file this year, and for those of you watching, if you decide to do this yourself, be aware that making an SBR will permanently make your firearm a regulated item under the National Firearms Act. And this comes with some restrictions. Other than just dealing with the general hassle of paying a $200 tax stamp, doing the paperwork, and waiting several months for approval, and then finally getting approval to make your SBR, you'll need to get approval from the ATF anytime you want to transport your NFA item across state lines, and you also won't be able to transfer or sell your NFA item like a normal firearm. Obviously, there are a handful of states where NFA items are totally banned, like New York, California, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and sort of the normal suspects. Also, your NFA item is now in a database. If that's something you're concerned about, then this probably isn't for you. Regardless, this isn't legal advice, and there are others that are more knowledgeable about these things. So to jump into my personal experience, I tried filing electronically directly on the ATF website, but then decided to use a proxy service called Silencer Shop, and this was recommended to me by a friend who had recently used it as well. For a Form 1, you need your fingerprint scanned. Silencer Shop has kiosks all over the United States, primarily at gun shops where you go in, you set up a profile, scan your fingerprints electronically, and then they guide you through the rest of the process. Just makes the whole chore more of an easier thing to do instead of having to set up an appointment at a post office or mailing your fingerprints in somewhere. Continuing off of that, you fill out your profile online, upload your headshot, punch in what kind of SBR you're applying for. So for this, GSG MP40 in 9mm, they also make this in 22 long rifle. Put in details about your gun, upload a picture of the receiver. You've obviously put in the serialized part of the firearm that you're applying for an SBR for. And then Silencer Shop pretty much does the rest, like filling out your actual form and putting in the CLO information, which is your law enforcement officer. The gun shop charged $40 to use the kiosk, and Silencer Shop charged me $45 for their services. You review and sign the form, they send it off to the ATF, and then you wait. It just made the whole process a little bit easier, especially the fingerprints part, which I think was probably the most difficult part, especially for those of you looking into doing the same thing. So I went ahead and filed in September of 2023 and got it back late October 2023, so about 31 days total, which honestly isn't too bad. I was looking online just kind of out of curiosity, and the average approval for an SBR right now is about 30 days, but I know some people have had much longer wait times, like 270 days, even a year. I think it probably just depends on the volume, and honestly, not sure what logistics go into approving SBRs, so that's something that I don't really care about, but here we are, got it approved. So at this point, you'll get an email saying you've been approved. The ATF will electronically send you your approved form back with the tax stamp in the top right-hand corner, and you are now officially ready to make your SBR, at least with this. Now, the GSG MP40 isn't anything to write home about, like I mentioned at the beginning. It was honestly made with, as you can see, like cheap plastic parts, has some dubious quality control issues, and it has numerous complaints. Just search the internet for them and you'll find plenty. But it is what it is, and I'm here for it. So now, in order to make it look slightly more cosmetically authentic, there are several parts companies out there offering and manufacturing reproduction parts that are compatible with the GSG clone, such as MFI Corp, which has a line of World War II period correct muzzle nuts. So I put this here. And then period correct cocking handles, which you can see here. The original one that came with this is just sort of like a round nub that comes out. And I don't know why the factory stocked ones are pretty unauthentic, and these just add a little bit more kind of riz to it. So if you're going to spend money on a tax stamp and a folding stock, you might as well just deck it out to make it look more period correct. So pretty simple to install and honestly not that expensive. Now we're going to go off to the range and see how she handles.
Now this one doesn't have it, it's safety trigger. This one's got a safety trigger on it. That was the only one that
How's it going, everyone? Just got back from the range today to shoot my MP40. Wanted to give you all just sort of an after-action report. I'll make it super quick. This held up decently well. There was a few, if you watch the footage, there's a few weird things where it kind of looks awkward, where the folding stock starts to come up like this. And there is a little bit of an awkward feeling, just kind of, you're wearing your big earphones and you're trying to line your sight up with your eyes, and this gradually starts to move up and up. And I think the problem primarily is that this is a cheap folding stock. This is actually an airsoft folding stock imported from Hong Kong or China, something like that. I don't know if the RTI ones are of better quality, but those are currently not really available on the market, so this is what we're dealing with. Now, I shot about 300 rounds through this before I ran into an issue where the actual bolt on this, or not the bolt, the charging handle broke. This is one of the MFI aftermarket pieces, and there's a little ring that goes around this part, and it broke. So I don't know if it was like a metallurgy issue, if it was just weak metal. So anyway, right now, you can kind of see this here, but there's no charging handle in here. What I'll have to do is I'll have to put the factory stock one in temporarily to shoot this, and then I'm going to reach out to them and see if they'll send me a replacement or what they do. In fact, I may just send this one back and they may use it to improve their system. So anyway, guys, just wanted to let you know that this was sort of my first time out at the range with my GSG MP40, officially as an SBR. Again, there is some sort of awkward handling with this thing. It is honestly not the most comfortable. I've never shot a actual MP40 to compare it, but there is certainly some ergonomic issues with these. It looks cool. I guess that's what counts, right? It is accurate. I mean, it is a pistol, so it doesn't have the longest barrel, but 25, 50 yards, you're hitting steel targets, and you can have fun with this. So anyway, just wanted to give you sort of a little bit of an after-action look at my new SBR. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.